Hello, I'm Sportsplays, and today I'm going to be showing you how to create a super simple obby system. So you should first start out with this environment. You can delete the spawn location and the base plate. Just bring in a spawn location. So first, you're going to want to just get a normal part by going up to Home and then clicking on Part. And then using the Scale tool and Arrow tool, we're going to create some obstacles. So just build it however you want. I'm going to start it out like just some super simple jumping like this, and then at the end I'll make a little platform. This will be a checkpoint. So go to Workspace, right click it, and insert a folder. Name this checkpoints, and take this part, your checkpoint part, put it in and name it checkpoints dash, then whatever checkpoint it is. So in my case it's gonna be checkpoint 1, and then you can add more and then change it to checkpoint 2 for as many checkpoints as you want, and then you can make it get harder, like further jumps. Again, make this checkpoint 3, and we're going to make these smaller so that so it keeps getting harder. Okay, so this is just a super simple example. I'm going to color these green, or them whatever color you want, and then now you can go into, I'm going to close all these, go into server script service and insert a regular script. First you want to get this folder here, checkpoints, so we'll go local checkpoints, so that's the name, then you'll put the location, which is game workspace dot checkpoints, which will get the location for where we're storing all of our checkpoints. So now we want to see when a player joins, game dot players dot player added connect function. So what this is basically doing is anytime a player joins, it will call whatever's inside of here, and this variable here is just the player that joined. So we're going to want to create leader stats. If you don't know what those are basically a variable that goes up in this corner that players can see whatever the value is. So to do that, we're going to need to create a leader stats folder. So we'll go we'll go local leader stats equals instance dot new folder. We'll go leader stats dot parent equals player to make this folder be inside of the player, and we'll change the name equals, I think it's just lowercase l, leader stats. Okay, so now whatever variables we put inside of leader stats will show up on the player screen. So I'm going to create a checkpoint. So we'll go local check equals instance dot new gets number value, no, it's int value, and name it. Checkpoint. Okay, so we create it, we give it the checkpoint, and now we'll put it inside of leader stats so that it shows up on the player's screen. So we'll go check dot parent equals leader stats. I'm gonna run it just to make sure everything is working. Okay, so as you can see, a little checkpoint is already up, so we know it's working. But the obstacle's gone. That's because I forgot to anchor all these parts to make sure they don't fall. So just select all of your parts, click anchor. So now they won't fall and they'll just be stationary. Now I'm going to set the value of check equals 0. It does that on default, but I just do it to make sure it's fine. Now I'm going to get local character equals player dot character. What this basically does is it gets the character. So there's the player, and then the character is the thing that you see on your screen. When you move around, that's your character. So I'll check whenever the player respawns by going I think it's player sorry, it's been a while. I think it's just player character added. Maybe it's dot character added. Yeah, it is. Okay. Well, connect function character. So now what this does is it checks whenever the player respawns or dies. So what we're going to do is we'll say if check does not equal 0, then so once the player respawns or dies, we make sure check does not equal 0, because if check equals 0, it means that he should respawn at the spawn point, which is done automatically for us. So now we'll create a check for where the player is. So we'll go I, E in pairs checkpoints. Get children. Okay, this is a loop, and it loops through all of the checkpoints you create in this folder. Okay, so now what we're gonna do, we're gonna go if v equals, so v is the child, so like it loops through all of these, so each loop is gonna check which one. So I'll go if v, which will be whichever one it's checking during that loop. If v equals v dot, no, I feel like we should do this differently. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We'll check the checkpoint by, if it's not 0, then we'll take checkpoints, I'll name it local spawns, because we can't use the word spawn because it's already a function. So we'll go local spawns equals game dot works. I'll just go checkpoints. We already made that variable. We'll find first child. Then we're gonna go check point dash. Then we go dot dot so that we can add something after. So I think it's No, it's two string. So we're gonna turn a integer into a string so that it can all be added together, and we'll open check. So now what this does is it figures out which one of these you're on. So if check equals 1, then you're going to be on checkpoint 1. If it's 2, checkpoint 2, checkpoint 3. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go character colon move 2. Now we're going to need to get the spawns, and then we're going to go dot position with the capital P. Okay, now I'm just gonna check and make sure this is working. Okay, so right now my checkpoint is at 0, but now if I'm in the server, so I can change stuff, I'm going to change my checkpoint to 1. Now if I die, okay, clearly I did something wrong because I respawned at an incorrect place. So what I'm going to do to figure out what I did wrong is I'll have it under here. I'm going to have it print called, so I don't know if it's at least getting to this point when my player dies. Okay, so it was called. Let's see, will it call again? And it called again. Okay, so that part's working, which means it's probably a problem with the checkpoint. I mean with the if statement, my bad. Oh wait, okay, sorry. Yeah, okay, so the if statement is not working. So what I'm going to do is say if called is greater than 0, and then I'll change this to 1, just so it'll work right away. Okay, now it's working. We fixed the if statement, but it's not teleporting us. So what I'm going to do, rather than just move into that position, is I'm going to go with local humanoid equals care, find first child. Sorry, I meant humanoid root part. Okay, what this is doing is it's getting our character, then finding the root part, which is basically the part of the character, like the main part that moves. So what we're going to do is we're going to go with humanoid root part dot c frame equals spawns dot c frame. But we're going to add a little on the y-axis so that the player is not in the middle of the part. So we'll go plus cframe dot new 0, 5, 0. Not sure if that's going to be enough, but we'll see. Okay. We got to use position. vector3 dot new. Vector3 is pretty close to C-frame. It's just C-frame can do more than vector3 can. Okay. Oh, okay, yeah. Run server, then change my checkpoint to 1. Okay, I'm gonna add a wait because I think when the player respawns, it's yeah, okay. So the problem was because when the player respawns, basically it does teleport to that position, but then it's teleporting it back up here, which is not good. So now I'm going to go back to the script and set this to 0. So this sets up the leader stats, or the checkpoints, variable checkpoint, and this makes it so when the player respawns, they teleport to the correct checkpoint. But now we're going to need to make it so that when a player hits a checkpoint, their value goes up, so they can go through the obby. Super simple. All we're going to do is we're going to go for I, b in pairs, checkpoints, get children. So this will loop through all of these. And then I'll go do. Now we're going to go v dot touched, and then we'll go connect function. Then we'll have object, the object that touched it. So we'll go if object dot parent find first child humanoid. Then okay, so what this is doing is it's saying whenever any of these are touched, it checks if what touched it has a humanoid inside. So if it has a humanoid, it means it's a player. So now we are going to check if the we'll actually make a variable called player local equals object dot parent dot player if player dot leader stats dot check dot value is less than great. We're going to need to compare it to a value. So we're going to get a number value, and we're going to assign the number value to be the same number as the checkpoint. So in this case, it's going to be 1. Duplicate it. Actually, we'll name this check. So put it inside of each checkpoint and change the value to be the value number of each checkpoint. So now we'll go v dot check dot value. So now if this value is larger than this value, then we'll go, I'm just going to copy this here, plus equals Okay, now what this is doing is it's checking if the player's current, if his current checkpoint is less than the checkpoint he's on. So if he's on the next checkpoint, it's going to add one to his checkpoints so that he'll respawn there next time. So let's test it real quick. Okay, so we jump, 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 jump. Okay, we got an error. Okay, that's because the wings are not directly parented by the player. So I'm just going to add one more check to make sure it's a wait. Okay, no, that's my bad. I need to go to script. This player, I'm putting it in before I check to make sure it is actually a player. So now that this player variable is inside of this, it should work. Okay, now let's test it. Spaced out most plays. Okay, I guess I'm not a... I thought that was a... Okay, it might not be a function, but to fix that, super simple, we just go players or find first child I think I need to put it above that. I'm not sure why it's not working. I have no idea why it's underlining that. But basically what this is doing is it's because I didn't go game dot players. Okay, so what this is doing is it's getting players right here. This is where you store all the players that are playing your game. Then it checks if it has anything named the character, the name of the character. So it checks if it's a player, just in a different way. Because apparently they removed the old way. Okay, so I hit it. Check is not about leader stats. Oh, it's called checkpoint. My bad. Okay. So I just changed it to... Sorry. Yeah. I should have checked. Okay. Now everything should work. Okay, now I added a checkpoint, and if I die, okay, great. It didn't work. Okay. This didn't even... Wait, does this go? You know, that was called, it's just this part isn't working. Now that's because it's taking this as a variable and is never gonna rechange it, so it's whatever this here says it's gonna compare this to. So all we gotta do to fix that is put this in, so it's gonna check the current status of the leader stats is greater than 0. Okay. But now it should actually work. Okay, we have a checkpoint. What? Like, did I spell that wrong? No. Okay. I'm guessing that's because I said wait for child, but I mean, I need to change it to wait for child, because I guess the humanoid root part hasn't loaded in yet, so that's the problem. But with wait for child, it will wait for the player to respawn. Okay. This time. Oh my gosh. Okay. Putting it for the wait. Now it should work. Oh, wait. Um, it might have been talking about spawns and not the player. I'm just gonna change this to wait for child, just in case. So, checkpoint dash. Okay. I'm also gonna have it print this, just so I know it's getting the right name. Okay. Okay, I see the problem. It's the same reason this wasn't working. It's still checking from this variable rather than from here. So we just need to replace it. I can't believe I didn't realize that, but now everything should be fixed. Okay, good. Now we're on checkpoint 1. Okay, now it's checkpoint 2. Okay, so it's working so far. Let me just